and lo and behold, here was Stephanie sending me a few sweet text messages saying good morning and that I hope I slept well and blah 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 blah. Gushy stuff. She actually sent like 4 paragraphs of text messages, so I'm just kind of reading through all of these like some kind of novel. When all of a sudden, the messages go from, "I really missed you last night. I hope you slept well, sweetie," to, "Don't forget to hit subscribe and smack that bell button to become an honorary Fear Raiser member so that you never miss a video." Yes, how exciting. Welcome back to part 2 of this new spicy date story. I bet the suspense is killing you right now on what happens with me and Stephanie, and I would like to let you know that this is the final part of the story, so there is no part 3, so you're in for the whole ride, folks. So in this part, guys, you will now find the true nature of this girl, Stephanie, to which, to my dismay, I had to experience for myself. So let's just get right into it. So just a recap on part 1. I met this girl named Stephanie online who was sort of on and off with our interactions, but doing strange things online while actively ignoring me for a good duration of our conversations together. However, when I eventually moved back to Toronto, she all of a sudden became interested in me and we began to talk more and more and got closer. Now that you're up to date, allow me to continue the story. So here I am, finally back home. Still lonely and desperately looking for love. Okay, I don't know what I was looking for, but in the moment, this girl was interested in me, and I wasn't about to pass that down, okay? So here we are, talking back and forth on Snapchat a lot, getting to know each other, asking one another questions, and sending cute, diabetes-filled messages like we were destined for each other. Gross, I know. I eventually asked for her cell phone number, and we moved from Snapchat onto texting, and if you're new to dating, once you've got that phone number, and it's real, you're doing good. So again, I feel like I need to mention that I don't know what I was doing here. Like, why would I even bother interacting with this girl who is now thousands of miles away from me, and she had her chance. I don't know why. I really just, man, I don't know. I don't know why. So why was I giving her a second chance? Because I was desperate. And respect to anyone that goes and does online dating and long distance relationships, because that is not a road I ever want to travel on again. But anyways. So after weeks of messaging each other non-stop and from what had seemed to be developing some kind of interest in each other, we eventually moved from text messaging to phone calls, video snaps, FaceTime, you name it. At this point, the only thing we hadn't done was actually meet in person yet. But as time went on, I weirdly was happy doing what I was doing, and this girl seemed to be pretty cool, so what can I say? After a lot of interaction together, one day, Stephanie actually brought up that she was considering coming to Toronto to actually visit me. And as I'm sure you can imagine, at this point, I felt a little strange about that because it felt a little sudden, but I can respect a girl with a drive, so I welcomed the idea with open arms, and it really seemed to be something to look forward to in the coming weeks. When it comes to dating, guys, don't jump into it right away. Like, I knew deep down this was probably not gonna work out the way I was thinking, and I mean, if she's willing to fly all the way over to see me, I mean, this isn't really gonna backlash me in any way, because I mean, if things don't work out, then, I mean, she's just gonna fly home anyways, right? And plus, she's an adult. So, like, well, you know, if she wants to fly over and see the Fear Raiser, by all means, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is assess the situation and be a little careful about it. So the date was set. It would be near the end of the month that Stephanie would plan to fly up, and to be quite honest, I was pretty excited. This was all so sudden and happening so fast, but the thrill of it all was really exhilarating to say the least. So from that point on, I had about 3 weeks before we'd see each other, so we kind of just continued to do what we were already doing. Sending stupid cute text messages to each other, calling, saying goodnight, you know what I'm talking about. So the weird thing about Stephanie was that she went to bed super early, like 8 p.m. every single day early, because she worked at some kind of old age home or something.
I can't remember, but anyways, she would disappear so early in the day, and it would always make me feel a little off, but I eventually got used to it. So here I am one night, just on my phone, kind of just doing what most people do. Scrolling through my feed, liking a few photos here and there, and well, eventually going to sleep. What happened the next morning, I will never forget.
So I'm sure a lot of you are looking at the title of this story and watching this video and asking yourself,
how's this girl psycho? She sounds sweet.
well, wait until I tell you what happens next.
So I wake up the next morning, the sun is shining, and my mood feeling elevated to the primest peak. I always take a sunny morning as a happy start to any day, so I awoke happy and also excited to check my text messages. I looked down and opened my phone, and lo and behold, here was Stephanie sending me a few sweet text messages saying good morning and that I hope I slept well and blah 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 blah. Gushy stuff. She actually sent like 4 paragraphs of text messages, so I'm just kind of reading through all of these like some kind of novel. When all of a sudden, the messages go from, I really missed you last night, I hope you slept well, sweetie, to,
who are these side chicks you're liking on Instagram, huh?
I was stunned. Side chicks? You mean my friends that happen to be girls? That's right. This girl had immediately begun to attack me because I liked some of my friends' photos on Instagram.
And this was the start to a very downward spiral with whatever myself and Stephanie had. I instantly explained to her how they were just friends and that it meant absolutely nothing. I also wanted to state that these weren't inappropriate photos or anything. These were just regular girl photos that were totally platonic in nature, and that was it. But she insisted that I was cheating on her. Back and forth, we sent huge paragraphs to each other, mine explaining how ridiculous she was being, and her justifying that I was a terrible person and that I was only using her. Supposedly, she suspected I would do something like this from the start. This was when all of Stephanie's true colors really started to show.
I'll never forget how shooketh I was when all this was happening. I mean, things seemed to be working out so well. And then all of a sudden I like a couple of photos of my friends who happen to be girls, and this girl just took a turn for the worst. This drama, however, does not end here.
Our texting battle had soon reached phone calls where Stephanie would be literally screaming at me saying that I'm a terrible person, while I was literally saying how shocked I am towards her behavior. I literally liked some photos of my friends, but apparently she wanted a man who was entirely devoted to her and her only. No liking other people's photos, no interacting, or anything. Clearly this girl had trust issues, and I knew from this point on that this was not going to work. Our arguments quickly turned to her becoming hysterical as she would cry intensely at how hurt she is by me, and I'm just like,
I mean, it's one thing to get upset if your significant other or somebody that you're kind of exclusive with is liking other photos that happen to be explicit or, you know, a little inappropriate in nature. But I mean, if you're just liking completely platonic photos of your friends, and there's nothing in any way, shape, or form inappropriate with those photos at all. They're just very normal photos of people. That's weird. That's where you cross the line for me. Like, this chick was losing her mind. She was just completely all over the place. I couldn't even talk her out. I couldn't even explain myself to her. Which is sad to say that I even had to explain myself to her. Literally, she was just gone off the charts. This had to be the most ridiculous interaction I've ever had with a girl. Freaking out because I'm liking completely appropriate platonic Insta pics. We stray further from God every single day, folks.
Eventually, we stopped arguing, and we kind of tried to cool off a bit about the situation, I being completely flabbergasted, while Stephanie, in her own words, forgave me and tried to move on. This, however, was not okay in my eyes, and I wanted nothing to do with a girl who would actually get on this way over something so idiotic. I couldn't shake what had happened, and for a few days after, I had essentially told her that this wasn't going to work, and I stopped talking to her. She very clearly bragged at how she was able to get any man she wanted, and that she didn't need me. And I literally cheered her on by saying, "You go, girl!" And I just blocked her. Needless to say, I had clearly dodged a bullet, and thankfully so, as I never interacted with her again.
You did it. That's the story, guys. That's it. That's pretty much what happened. And 2 weeks later, she ends up getting with a guy who ended up being her boyfriend for about a month. And then they broke up. But anyways, oh my God. Oh God. Oh, I'm getting old. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this 2-part story video thing. But if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more great content, and of course, leave a comment in the comment section below, guys. I want to hear more conversations and more stories down there as well. I want to interact with more of you guys as well. And of course, if you want to follow me on my social medias, or they're somewhere. But nonetheless, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Guys, be careful when you date people online. You know, until you get to know them, you never know what might happen. They might be crazy. But I'll leave that for you to discover. All right, see you later. Bye. This is not how I leave this place. I have to go that way. Okay, see ya. Bye.